Hello, and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to talk about la rutina diaria, your daily routine. Un día típico. So, like with a lot of things in Spanish, we're going to talk about verbs. We need to know the verbs. And let's start very quickly. Immediately we're going to talk about Alberto. Soy Alberto. And Alberto is speaking. He says, Me despierto a las 7. So, me despierto, I wake up. Me despierto a las 7. We're in this, in the topic of the daily routine, we're going to talk a lot about reflexive verbs. And reflexive verbs, well, an example here is me despierto. So the me is not I, it's myself. So reflexive verbs are reflexive. Reflexive means that it has the idea of self. In English, we don't always have this. When we translate it, we don't always have the idea of self. But in Spanish, they have a lot of reflexive verbs, and a lot of them are in the rutina. So, me despierto a las 7. Let's look at another reflexive verb. Me levanto a las 7:10. Me levanto a las 7:10. A las 7:10, so we're talking about time here. 10 past 7. Me levanto, I get up. Again, literally what you're saying is, I lift myself up. We continue with the reflexive verbs. Luego, me visto. Luego means and then. Luego. Me visto. Literally, I get myself dressed. I dress myself. Me ducho. So showering is also a reflexive verb. So remember, well, we'll talk about it in 1 second. Let's look at the last one. Well, there's 2 more. Me cepillo los dientes. Me cepillo los dientes. In Spanish, if you do something to yourself or if you do something to your own body, you usually use a reflexive verb, and that's the me form here. And the last reflexive verb, me lavo las manos. Again, you're doing something to yourself, so you use the reflexive. Me lavo las manos. What we're all doing at the moment. Just another thing as well, if you talk about body parts in Spanish, you generally don't say my hands, you say the hands. The way you make it talk about yourself is you make it reflexive. You add the me. So let's look again at the reflexive verbs. Me despierto. Me levanto. Me visto. Me ducho, me cepillo o cepillo, me lavo. Again, we're using the present tense first person all the time here. And the first person, of course, we know has an O at the end. All the time. So they're the reflexive verbs connected to the daily routine. We'll practice that a little bit more in a second. Let's look at the meals. They're important. Las comidas. Las comidas. So por la mañana, desayuno. Desayuno a las 8 de la mañana. I have breakfast. In Spanish, there are 2 words for to have lunch, 2 verbs. You can say como a la 1 o almuerzo a la 1. So como, of course, is comer, but it's also used for to have lunch. Almorzar is the other verb, almuerzo. And ceno. Ceno a las 8 de la tarde con mi familia. So also another thing to mention about Spanish time, telling the time, a las 8 de la mañana. So we don't have AM or PM in Spanish, so you have to say de la mañana for AM. And PM, de la tarde. A las 8 de la tarde. So let's just revise the meals again. Desayuno, como o almuerzo, ceno. Again, we're just using the first person, present tense. Some more verbs, useful verbs, just for our day-to-day. Voy al trabajo. Voy al trabajo a las 8:30 de la mañana. Voy a pie. A pie, on foot. Voy a pie. Empiezo el trabajo a las 9. Empiezo is from the verb empezar, to start. I start work. Vuelvo a casa a las 5. Vuelvo, from volver. I come back, come home. Por las tardes, so is in the evenings. Leo libros. Leo libros. Veo la televisión. Juego a los videojuegos. Me acuesto, so we're back to the reflexives. Me acuesto a las 11. Me acuesto, I go to bed. Literally, I lay myself down. So let's do some practice, see how much you can remember. Might be an idea to stop the video, go back, watch it again. If you're not sure of the verbs. And let's do some practice. So, soy Alberto. We're going to complete the verbs. Me a las 7. Como se dice, I wake up. Me despierto. Me despierto. And so let's look at the next verb. I get up. Como se dice en español. Me pienso en él. Me levanto. Me levanto a las 7:10. Next verb. So again, another reflexive. If you need some help, it begins with a V. Me visto. The infinitive is vestirse. The infinitives are on the blog if you need to check the infinitives. We're just going to concentrate on the first person. Me ends with a D again. Me ducho. So this is the infinitive. Well, the verb starts with a C. Me cepillo los dientes. Cepillar is to brush. An important verb at the moment. Me lavo las manos. So they're the reflexives. So let's revise las comidas. Como se dice? I have breakfast at 8. Begins with a D. Desayuno. Exacto. So we have two verbs for to have lunch. We can say como a la una or begins with an A. We have the A there already. Almuerzo. Almuerzo a la una. And the last meal begins with a C. Ceno. Ceno a las 8. I go to work. Como se dice? A little short word. Voy. I start work. Como se dice? Begins with an E. Empiezo. I return home. So it's a V verb. Volver is the infinitive. Vuelvo a casa. So a lot of this is connected to the present tense. And there are videos and blogs about the present tense. You can have a look at that if you need to practice. I read books. ¿Cómo se dice? Leo libros. ¿Cómo se dice? I watch TV. Again, a short verb, beginning with V. Veo la televisión. With the verb to play, we use a. So what is the verb to play? Well, you have it actually in the word for game. Juego a los videojuegos, from the verb jugar. Jugar al fútbol. And finally, the last thing at night. Another reflexive verb. Me acuesto. Me acuesto a las 11. Okay, that's our video for today. We will have another video in the future on a blog on reflexive verbs themselves. We'll get a little bit more into detail in that. But that's all for today. Thanks for watching.